Wanted to make a quick video to chime in and give my 2 cents here on this whole Wikileaks controversy. For those of you who have been hiding under a rock for the last week or so on Mars, there was a huge leak of about 91,000 official war reports showing, on a microcosmic level, the everyday comings and goings of war, the everyday atrocities of war. I mean, I've sifted through these articles a little bit. It's just so disgusting how they write down, oh, 40 Afghans killed, 30 Afghans killed, 100 Afghans killed, no big deal. Just another day in Afghanistan. Or they'll put them down as insurgents. There's so much that you can tell from these reports, the way that the military handles, situations where they kill civilians, the way the military handles, certain things which they lie about, which are now apparent thanks to Julian Assange. So I think it's just wonderful that this is in this era of information and revealing that you just can't stop the information from being known. You just can't stop it from entering the public domain. So, I mean, there was a press report, or a press conference given by the military, the chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he was in a very angry tone, and he chastised Mr. Assange for giving away crucial information that he said, Mr. Assange, you already have blood on your hands, whether it be from an Afghani, or a soldier. Someone has probably already died, he said, from whatever. And he said, he was just going on and on and on about how if you have a problem with the policies that we are forced to implement, or if you have a problem with, the orders that we've been given or the decisions we make, then that's fine. You can protest against that. But that doesn't mean that you have to go blah, 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 blah. To that I say, Mr. Joint Chiefs of Staff, if you really cared about the lives of your soldiers and the lives of the people in Afghanistan, then you would probably be the #1 anti-war protester in the entire America. If you really cared, but what do you care about? Nothing. What do I care about those soldiers who lose their lives over there? I don't give a fuck. Because those people who go over there, they don't go over there to protect their country. They go over there for money. They go over there for hatred. They go over there because they don't have anything better to do. They're not fighting for freedom and American ideals or democracy in Afghanistan even. They're fighting for a power play. They're fighting for control in the same way that Afghanistan was fought for by the Soviets in the 80s. We're fighting for dominance. It's a power play. And this fucking general or whoever is going to come out here and say, our mission in Afghanistan that we've been given, to protect the country and all this. It's just pure bullshit. It just shows the mentality of these people and how far back in the times they are. This guy's a throwback from the Cold War or the Vietnam War era, talking about national security and, oh yes, Mr. Assange, you have already endangered the lives of many troops on the battlefield and all this. How do we know that from the release of that information, actually people's lives are going to be protected? Maybe there's something that they are going to change in their policies as a result of this leak, which is going to have a lasting effect to cause more peace and to cause less casualties in the long term. It doesn't make any sense for them just to come out here and attack Julian Assange, who's doing them a fucking favor. Julian Assange is doing these people a favor by releasing all of this information out to the public. He's I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't do this at the request of Obama or somebody at that high level. I would be surprised if someone at that high level within the United States power hierarchy didn't cause for this to happen. I would be shocked, really, because this serves their interests more than anybody. You know, they know that the war in Afghanistan is unwinnable. They know that it's going to cost a ridiculous amount of money that we don't have. You know, so how do we get out of it? Leaks like this are one way to put pressure on the military to get the fuck out of there. You know, there's a lot of talk about how that the military is like off on its own, doing its own thing, and it's become like a loose cannon. Hey, I don't know. I mean, it seems that you can't really talk to them. It seems that they're just killing, kill, and that's all that they care about. It seems that they don't even want to listen. It seems that they don't even really have the ability to listen. It seems that once you sick the American military on a country, they just go and go and go and go and go. You know, look at Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. So, if a country is stuck in this mode where it's going and going and going and can't stop because the weight of its own system and the weight of its own ignorance, then there has to be people like Mr. Assange to come and, you know, to provide stimulation, to cause this system to move around a little bit, to stop being so frozen. So, I mean, the military is such fucking hypocrites telling that Julian Assange is actually causing more deaths. You know, Mr. Military Guy, you are the one causing the deaths in Afghanistan, not Mr. Assange, who is just revealing your works. Just revealing the things that you are doing, and you're gonna hate him? He's doing you more good than all of your soldiers combined. He's saving more lives, possibly, than all of them and you. Because if this causes enough pressure and it causes us to move out quicker, you know, then obviously it's a good thing and not a bad thing. It's just ridiculous, you know, they're calling him irresponsible and they're saying he had an agenda and, oh, just trying to make a point. You know, these people are so fucking far behind. There's two tides in this country, in this world right now. There's a tide of conscience and there's a tide of mind. Conscience and personal assumptions, ego. Conscience and ego. Things that are driven by conscience, people and places and events are driven by conscience, people and places and events are driven by ego. And this is a part of this whole 2012 thing. So you see this happening all throughout the world, this conflict between conscience, ego, nationalism, patriotism versus conscience, real truth, you know, love and all this. I can't believe that the military just thinks that, you know, oh, these are our national secrets and these have to be secret from the public to protect you from yourselves. To protect people in the field. Well, if it was really to protect people in the field, then couldn't they release, you know, the documents that cover the war on some website and just black out the names of informants and things like that? They don't care. They want it to be secret. They want it to be away from the prying eyes of the media and the public so they can go on and do whatever that they want to do so these big power players can stay in power. These big money makers can stay making money. And so that we can project our authority onto that area. Until people like yourself, Mr. Chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, stop endangering our national security by embroiling us in these foreign wars, then there's going to have to be people like Assange to come and to counter this lunacy.